Peace, wholeness, and divine blessings, everyone. It is me again, Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the Fifth Force Oracle, and I am thankful, as always, to share the collective cosmic oracle reading of evolution. And so I must first give thanks and gratitude, first and foremost, to M.I.M.E.C, the founders of M.I.M.E.C, High Priestess, M.I.M.E.C, and Neptaharka, Kanishkawak, as well as Baba Wanik, who brought the cosmology over for us to build upon and utilize for our evolutions. And most of all, I want to give thanks and gratitude to the M.I.M.E.C priesthood and all of those that support the mission and also support and may be tuning in to Moon Goddess and the Healing Arts through my YouTube page. I definitely am very, 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 um, you know, thankful for High Priestess Neptaharka and Baba Wanik, specifically because they have really put together amazing platforms and information to help us to um, get deep into this, to really take our evolution seriously. Even with Synchronistic Hueman that Neptaharka started, I was sitting here thinking and reflecting on just like how much coming into M.I.M.E.C and Synchronistic Hueman has shifted some things in the way that I navigate in my personal life and things that I'm bringing to Moon Goddess and the Healing Arts. And so I'm just continuously thankful. I feel like there's a lot of words that I can say in regards to that. But instead of rambling here, I just want to send my love and gratitude and also to brother Ken 38, who is who has been holding it down with aligning with the cycles through M.I.M.E.C, and of course all of you that's tapping in and are feeling or have answered the call to really be open to the mission that we are all doing here through M.I.M.E.C, and I'm just thankful. And so, yeah, I really could go on and on about it because I've been having some beautiful transformations taking place in my own life, and so I'm just like filled up with that energy right now. And so, let me go ahead and move on forward here. I do want to say that because of what I'll be sharing today, um, you may want to visit my YouTube page to capture the full reading. I know some of this will be shared on Aligning with the Cycles. And so, you might want to check out the full reading. And also, if you are not aware of Aligning with the Cycles and M.I.M.E.C, you can also take a look at, well, actually, you could go on YouTube and go to Melanated Immortals and find the page. And then also you can go look at my playlist and check out the Aligning with the Cycles playlist. And so I just wanted to give both of those resources depending on where you all may be tapping in. But mainly this will be shared on Aligning with the Cycles. And so a lot of you are familiar with where to find this information. So I'm going to go ahead and continue moving forward here. And again, I don't want to speed over that too fast with giving thanks to Brother Aqil, Ken 38, for going through the amazing breakdown of where we currently are within the cycles. And, I really want to encourage us to put this all together like a puzzle. So I promise you, it all adds up. So, I just want to mention a few things that he mentioned about the cycles, because this pertains to what we want to keep in mind when it comes to us getting into the mindset of a synchronaut. So, here we go. We're in the year of flowering. We're in this year of being inspired to grow and to bloom. We're closing out the moon of perfecting what we do. And that perfecting part, I want to acknowledge within the mindset of a synchronaut is that we're perfecting being living expressions of the divine, being divine creators. And so throughout this moon, we've been going through each of these help tests so that we can, synergize our energy, also remember what our divine purpose is, and then move into um, being more conscious about what we're creating so that we can fulfill our soul's mission. And so since we are in the last heptad, I really want us to focus on taking everything we've learned throughout this moon or remembered about what our divine purpose is, and how to perfect that, because that is what's going to help us to fulfill our mission here. And so, we will be moving into a new moon on tomorrow. So I really, really, really want to encourage you to really connect with your kin signature as we are getting ready to say our affirmations, because your affirmation is like decoding your specialty. And so as you say your affirmation, I really want to encourage you to pay attention to what stands out, even if it's just 2 words that stand out for you. And I want you to think about how what this is showing you. I want you to think about what those 2 words or those things that stand out are showing you about how you can fulfill your mission, your soul's mission. Okay. So I want to encourage you all to join me in stating your affirmation. And we're going to say, as a living expression of, then you're going to say your kin number, its name, and the galactic signature. And so please join me in stating your affirmation. Oh, and also, if you don't have your kin number, feel free to reach out to myself or reach out to anyone that is a part of M.I.M.E.C or Synchronistic Hueman, and we will get that information for you. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and say our affirmation together as we are doing this as a collective, harmonizing ourselves in resonance. And so let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so as a living expression of Kin 181, the red crystal dragon, I dedicate in order to nurture, universalizing being. I seal the inputs of birth with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of space. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe-yo. And so for me, what stood out was nurturing and cooperation. And so I've definitely had some recent experiences that has deepened my understanding of, ways that I am here to fulfill my mission. And so I will share a little bit about that when we actually get to the oracle reading, okay? Or actually the breakdown. I'll share it after this part. Okay, so with the Destiny Kin Oracles. This is from the Oracle Board, which is a part of the Law of Time concepts and tools. And so this is a 5th dimensional template that helps us to sustain our cosmic synergy as multidimensional beings. And so depending on what archetype is within your destiny oracle, or excuse me, I can say your destiny oracle, but what is your destiny, which is your kin number. Like, for example, I'm the red dragon. That's the archetype. Each of these 20 archetypes have a oracle board, which serves as a cosmic compass or like a meditative tool to help you to align yourself as a multidimensional being. It also helps you to align with the natural cycles that we are evolving through on a cosmic level, and on earth, on all levels. And so this is why we are taking some time to look at the Destiny Oracle um, on this session, because it helps us to unlock different aspects of our inner knowing, that remembrance, and it gives us a lot of information. So it shows us how to or it helps us to really honor all aspects of who we are and what we're made of. And so, we get to create and do some evolutionary things based on our creative essence of our kinergy. And so the kin of the plasma that we're on today is kin 143, the blue crystal knight. And so I have pointed out here where on the oracle board the blue knight sits, which it has the blue knight here in the center. Down below, that's the emotional body for and it has the white mirror that sits there. On the left, that is the mental body where we have the red Skywalker. And then on the right, that is the physical body where we have the yellow warrior. And so if you look on the left again, you will see that there's a blue box that is blank over top of the blue knight solar seal. And that position represents the spirit guide. I like to say that's like the compass is driving or helping us to navigate, with our soul, emotion, mental, and physical aspects. And so the archetype that will sit here is dependent on the galactic tone of that particular archetype. So for this, for us being on the blue cosmic knight, we have the blue hand archetype that's sitting in that spirit guide position. And so that's just a quick overview of the oracle board. And so now we will be focusing on the breakdown for Kin 143. And I want to start by referring back to this wave spell that we're in, where I look at each wave spell as a particular mission that's helping support our evolution in different stages. So we are actually on the last archetype or the last kin of this blue monkey wave spell, because in a wave spell there are 13 archetypes or 13 kin that sits in the wave spell to fulfill the mission. So the mission of this wave spell is to tap into the power of our magic. Now, the power of our magic is our creative essence, is our creative power, our ability to take something intangible and make it real, or to bring it into the physical. And honestly, I'm going to say to make it real. And so this power of magic is our ability is based on our ability to play with illusions. And so it leads us to intuitively dreaming of our divine abundance, or creating the dreams or that we intuited of our divine abundance. And so essentially, this is us playing with the illusions to transform our dreams into that divine abundance by using our intuition. And what's beautiful is that we're on the last archetype of this wave spell. So now we're focusing on physically dreaming of our divine abundance and, taking things to the next level. And so this is where the breakdown for the archetype or the kin in itself comes in at. Each part of the name holds significance, just like anything else within, anything. Everything is significant, right? Everything has some type of meaning that's is reflecting back to us. And so the blue is the same thing like with the wave spells, or excuse me, the heptads. So us being on a blue archetype, this is where we're allowing ourselves to transform by having the patience to change our conduct. So, sometimes transformation don't happen overnight. Sometimes it happens in a quick second. However, either way, we still need to allow ourselves to have patience with things transforming from one state to another. And so then when we look at the solar seal / the archetype, the blue knight is also known as the dreamer. So this is the power of divine abundance that dreams and intuits, or I like to say dream of intuition. My favorite way of looking at the blue knight is like that phrase, if you could dream it, you can create it. Okay, so let's keep that in mind too. And so, when it comes to creating divine abundance, our dreams, tapping into our intuition, it does require us to practice having some patience. We can't force a dream to happen in our mind. You know what I'm saying? I want to say, I guess you kind of could try to force it, but, it's not, it's a lot better or beneficial to practice some patience with that. And so let me keep on moving forward here. And then with the cosmic tone, that is known as the galactic tone. I look at that part as the vibrational frequency. So the blue knights, or the archetypes, that's the creative power. And then when that power gets activated, it's activated with the galactic tone. So the cosmic tone is activating this blue knight energy, with the purpose of enduring presence and transcending. And so we can understand what all of this means, and how the blue cosmic knight is playing a role, I'll say is playing a role in this wave spell. And so the first line here, it says, I endure my magic in order to dream, or you endure your magic in order to dream. And so when I just look at this first line, we want to think about what enduring my magic means. And so for me, from my perspective, enduring the magic, or enduring our magic, is allowing ourselves to take our creative essence to the next level. We want to not give up. We want to keep pressing forward and staying empowered by our magical essence in order to dream. And so this is really dope and profound, because of I actually have two things I want to try to share in this. So I do apologize in advance if this, gets a little lengthy here, but I do have two short stories per se that can help, build a picture around, the power of illusions, or how this divine abundance actually works. And so let me keep reading the remix of the affirmation here. So you endure your magic in order to dream. So you are enduring your creative essence in order to dream. So you're dreaming of your divine abundance that can come from transcending your intuition. So that means taking your intuition to the next stage, allowing yourself to stay motivated and moving forward. And you seal your informed inputs of divine abundance with the cosmic tone of presence. So by you receiving the divine insights of your abundance, from your intuition, uh, allowing yourself to be present in it is what locks it in. So like, say that you have a dream of being a doctor, right? Say you have a dream of being a doctor, and it's like, the more that you honor your creative essence of, what inspires you to be a doctor, and all the things that, give you that passion, that dream of yours can be real, you know. And when you be present in it, not rushing it, because remember, we are practicing that patience. So it does take time sometimes to bring our dreams into fruition. And so the last line states, I am guided by my power of accomplishments. And so that means your power of being able to accomplish things, that's what's guiding you in holding and staying tuned into the dream. And so a couple of things that had came to mind for me in this was so this wave spell, my experience going through this wave spell has given me a deeper clarity about the difference between truth, what's real, and the illusion. So one thing I like to say is that all illusions are not bad. And just be okay. I'm gonna leave it with that. Pause or period. All illusions are not bad. The thing is about illusions is that this is where the illusions may differ from the truth. So, like for example, or I'll say this from my perspective, illusion can fall into two about two categories. So one, something can be true but not real yet. That means you're living in the clarity or having this inner knowing of what your vision or your purpose is or your future work. So like you have that inner knowing what your purpose is, or you have an inner knowing of what you envision yourself accomplishing, but it's just not here yet, right? I know for myself, I definitely uh, have those moments, and this wave spell has helped me to see things from a different light as to how to make it real, right? So then that goes into the other aspect of illusions, is that something can be real but not true. And so that means that, whatever is real is like, it's an experience that we're really having, right? However, this is where the illusions get kind of funky at, because this is where some misunderstandings may come in, or some projections might come in, or it's something that's there that's blocking the actual truth being revealed. So essentially, illusions are not all bad, or they're not always the truth. They are real experiences that are being interpreted or may be interpreted by distortion. And oftentimes it's mistaken for the truth or as partial truth. And so like that had came to mind because of some things that was shared before about, or I'll say I believe I seen it in the chat. I don't, oh, it was Priestess Moot. She says sometimes illusions can feel real, and that really stuck out to me. And that was something that really stuck out to me, and I had to sit on. And that's pretty much where I got the inspiration to, see, look at illusions a little bit more deeper. So my thing is, or the reason why I brought this up is that sometimes these illusions, all right, so remember, all illusions are not bad. So illusions can support us in uh, creating or enduring our dreams, or I'll say creating our divine abundance, or it can block us from creating our abundance. So remember, we are going through the cycle of flowering and perfecting our divine abundance. And so this is where the Destiny Oracle comes in at, to help us to recognize, okay, are we really locked into our creative essence, our magic, or do we still have some distortion taking place that's, interfering with this process? And so the goal here is to transcend and go beyond all of the illusions. We want to get to the other side of the illusions. We want to go, we really want to make things happen. We're being guided by the blue hand. And so the main frequency we're tapping into is that of the cosmic tone, which is to endure the present, or endure your presence, to transcend, to take things to the next level. So this cosmic tone asks the question, how do I expand my joy and love? Just think about when you're operating from a state of joy. You feel more fueled up, mind clear, and everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's what actually take things to the next level. Now, what's the opposite of joy? Depression, sadness, all of that stuff. That whole, it kind of interferes and impedes on your advancement or your growth, right? So how do we expand beyond that? That is what we can use the Destiny Oracle to tap into today. And so remember, the mission here in the center is to transcend and take our dreams to the next level, take our intuitions to the next level. So when we look at what we're being guided by, we have the blue cosmic hand. The spirit guide is the GPS. It's telling us to focus on in this direction. Let's focus on accomplishing our dreams. And actually, up here it should say know what you want to. It should say knows instead of dreams. So you want to guide your dreams towards knowing what you want to accomplish. And so that the blue cosmic hand is telling us to transcend the healing. Stop being in healing mode and operate in the whole state of who you are. So we got to get out of the healing. We got, this way, this Destiny Oracle is showing us, what haven't we healed from that may be an illusion. It could be showing us the truth, and we might not be wanting to see what the truth is. And these experiences are real. Like whatever you may need to, may find yourself having to heal from, or that you are perceiving that you need to heal from, that is still a real experience. And the goal is to recognize the truth in what you are seeking to accomplish. And that's what's going to help to guide you in that direction. And so say that, that's still, you're not as clear on that right now, it's cool. So this is where we could look at the other archetypes in the Destiny Oracle, which I want us to shift to the mental body, where we have the red cosmic Skywalker at. And so the mental body is the area that feels like a challenge. And it's, even challenges are like illusions, because the truth in the truth of the challenge is that it's strengthening us and is giving us a gift. It's giving us a reward. It's like, okay, you put in all this work and you did X, Y, and Z, and here's your gift. You know what I'm saying? Or you just allow yourself to be open to the challenge, and then boom, your gift comes. So it's not always like you gotta, go above and beyond and jump through hoops and all this stuff to get the gift. You just gotta be open to, you gotta be open. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, the the red cosmic Skywalker is encouraging us to explore the spaces around us. So when it comes to us wanting or feeling that inner call to bring our abundance to, or make our abundance real, we have to allow ourselves to be open to exploring different opportunities, or to explore different spaces. So like say, all right, so again, say your dream is to be a doctor, or your dream is to do generational healing. You got to explore outside of what you're used to. So say right now you might be working at, I don't know, you may be working somewhere that's not being a doctor. So if you want to explore being a doctor, you got to allow yourself to be open to embrace the challenge of, seeking out the avenues that's going to bring forth those your dreams of abundance. Likewise with anything else, when it comes to generational healing, you got to allow yourself to be open to the other side. Even with that, yes, a lot of the things that we may be seeking to heal from generationally, it'll definitely feel like a challenge because it's been going on for generations. However, when we strengthen ourselves enough to see the abundance that comes from what we know that we want to accomplish, that opens up the space for us to explore and to be in that wakefulness state. That means to, Like, I even look at the Skywalker as like being the red cosmic Skywalker as like a double presence type of situation. So the cosmic tone is already talking about being present, but the Skywalker is bringing in, all right, let's be present and endure. Let's continue staying woke. Let's stay woke and keep moving forward. Let's keep exploring. Let's, we don't want to turn back. We're not turning back no more. We're going to keep moving forward in this by being present and aware. Okay. And that awareness is like an internal awareness. Okay. So that's what I'll say about the Skywalker. I want to jump down to the emotional body, which we have number 3 at. And we have the white magnetic mirror here. And so the emotional body is what's fueling us to move in this direction, of fueling us to explore. So with the archetype being, or the kin being the white magnetic mirror, this is also the beginning of, this is the wave spell that begins the past portals. So emotionally, we can even think about the past. The past is going to inspire us or motivate us to recognize the abundance that's going to be on the other side, recognize what we want to, that we see ourselves accomplishing. And so, um, the dream is to attract our true divine reflections. That's the insight, or that's what I understand the emotional body to do. Is it's that fuel, it's that motivation internally. It's like, okay, I want to overcome, what's it called? I should know this. The ghosting trauma of, I think of the ghosting trauma like fear mongering, like if you grew up on fear, like fear-based loving, or oh, tongue-tied mongering. Sometimes you may be reluctant to, explore and to seek out new experiences. So with the emotional body, it's telling us to, attract the order that we need to operate in. So that means that instead of allowing fear to keep holding you back, let's allow ourselves to become more fearless or fearless, so that we can move forward, so that we can reflect the divine abundance. It's just like, you having a dream of, again, being a doctor, but, say they were, people was around you telling you all these scary stories about being a doctor. Instead of letting that hold you back, you staying true to yourself, true in your heart space to go in that direction still. To know that you, to have that internal knowing that you feel called to be a doctor, despite all the different challenges and stuff that people may say. So like whatever it is that, may be causing that or leading to, you feeling reluctant to endure what you want to accomplish, you might want to check in with your emotional body and see what's actually fueling you to take action. So the goal is to move away from blocking us from, what we feel called to, and refining our motives behind it, getting more tapped into our whys. And so this beautifully brings us to the physical body, which we have the yellow cosmic warrior. And this sits in the physical body position where it's supporting us in holding the focus internally and externally. So, essentially this is like the archetype, or the position in the destiny oracle that's like our right hand man or our right hand woman, that's like rooting for us to take action. So the yellow warrior is encouraging us to transcend fearlessness, like take that, to go beyond the fear, to not be in that fearful state. So as we reflect and get this motivation going, the yellow warrior is like, yeah, go do it. Go, go, go do it. And it's also encouraging us to ask divine intelligent questions. So that's tapping into our higher mind, our higher selves, connecting with the Most High, the divine creator, and asking questions so that we can transcend the fears. Because a lot of the time, the reason why people fear things is because they don't have the answers, or it's something missing from the equation. It's like they didn't put all the puzzle pieces together. They didn't get enough clarity yet to find a path to feel at least comfortable enough to endure finding out. And so this is so dope because no matter where you are in your journey, you could connect to any aspect of this destiny oracle to help bring forth that clarity. And when you do, and you allow yourself to again tap into your creative essence to go beyond these illusions, or at least tap into the illusions that's actually going to support you in taking things to the next level. um the way that it's going to start showing up as the synchronicities is through you taking that step to evolve. You're changing up the synchronicities. You're changing up what the experiences is showing you based on you having a different perspective about it. So this also helps you to operate in timelessness, to bring more form and definition to timelessness. Because when we tap in, or when we allow fear to come into the picture, that's when we start to be all shifty about time, or kind of anxious and stuff. So so essentially, the more fearless we become, the more timeless we become as well. And that's what's going to keep us moving forward and enduring the actual opportunities that we dreamed of creating and accomplishing. And so with all of that, I want to encourage you to connect, look at how your creative power, basically how to use your creative power with this destiny oracle. And so I didn't have the actually yeah, so real quick, and y'all don't get me, High Priestess don't get me, Habibula don't get me. One thing I want to share real quick is this dream that I had some years ago. Going through this blue monkey wave spell reminded me of this dream, where essentially I was in a school, and I was in the school taking my child to a play rehearsal, and we all had took a break from the rehearsal, so we were like kind of walking around the school. And when I looked outside the school, it was so many monkeys. Like, oh my gosh, it was so many monkeys outside of the school. And so when we were in one of our chant calls, um what was basically, I had this really divine moment. So yeah, we were in our core chants, and it reminded me of my dream. And then all of a sudden I understood on a deeper level what the dream was showing me. So basically, the last thing I'm gonna say is that this world is our play. This world is our stage. We're here to play out our character. We are here to play out our creative essence, our divine creative essence. And that's our character. Our character is this divine role and purpose that our kin signature is helping us to pull out of ourselves. Same thing with the destiny oracles. Just the whole cosmology in itself is helping us to pull out our true essence, our true divine reflection, or our true divine design that we incarnated with. And so with that, that's pretty much I wanted to end off with, is to lock in, allow yourself to really honor and get into your creative essence so that you can fulfill your soul's mission. And remember that it doesn't happen overnight all the time. Have some patience and continue to just show up for yourself and your endeavors. And so with that, I we'll be posting this on YouTube at 10:10 a.m. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me by any of my contact methods. And so with that, I do want to say, may that you all enjoy your creation in every single moment of now. And I love y'all. I shall talk to you all on the next session. Peace. In Lakesh, I like Peace.